This is your IELTS listening exam. You will hear a conversation between two students talking about technology and online learning. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now, listen carefully and answer the questions.
Hey Leo, have you finished the report for our technology and education class?
Not yet. I've been struggling to decide which device to focus on. I was thinking about laptops, but that feels too common.
True. How about tablets? They've become super popular for online classes.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. They're portable, lightweight, and students can take notes directly on the screen.
Exactly. Plus, most universities now provide e-books instead of printed ones. It saves money and paper.
Right, but don't you think too much screen time can be harmful? I read somewhere that it affects students' focus.
Yeah, that's true. Some students end up scrolling through social media instead of studying.
Guilty, but honestly, online learning platforms like Zoom or Google Classroom really helped during the pandemic.
Definitely, they made remote education possible. But the main problem was unstable internet connection.
Oh yeah, I remember classes where the audio kept cutting off. That was so annoying.
Same. I also think teachers needed training to use these tools properly.
My math teacher used to struggle sharing her screen, but after a few weeks, she got the hang of it.
By the way, what are you planning to include in your report's conclusion?
It'll probably say that technology has made education more flexible and accessible, but it also created new challenges like distractions and technical issues.
That sounds perfect. I'll write something similar. Maybe I'll also mention AI tools like ChatGPT. They're changing how students learn and write.
True, I just hope we don't become too dependent on them.
Agreed. Anyway, let's meet later at the library and finish our reports together.
Sure, see you at 4 p.m.
You have 1 minute to check your answer. Next, you will hear a university lecture about modern developments in medicine. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 25. Now listen carefully and complete the notes. Write one word only for each answer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we'll be discussing some of the most significant advances in modern medicine and how they've changed the way we treat diseases. To begin with, one of the greatest breakthroughs in the last century has been the development of antibiotics. Before their discovery, even a minor infection could be fatal. However, overuse of antibiotics has led to the rise of resistant bacteria, which is now a major global health concern. Another key advancement is in the field of genetics. Scientists can now identify certain mutations that cause hereditary diseases, allowing for early diagnosis and prevention. For example, genetic testing can determine if a person is likely to develop breast or colon cancer later in life. In addition, the rise of telemedicine has changed how doctors and patients communicate. Through digital consultations, people in remote areas can now access medical advice without traveling long distances. This became especially important during the global pandemic, when hospitals were overloaded and face-to-face appointments were limited. Another promising area is regenerative medicine, which focuses on repairing damaged tissues and organs using stem cells. Although it's still in the early stages, many experts believe it could one day replace transplantation as the main treatment for organ failure. Medical technology has also advanced in terms of diagnostics. AI-powered imaging systems can detect tumors with remarkable accuracy, often earlier than human specialists. However, there are still ethical concerns regarding data privacy and patient consent. Finally, mental health has gained more attention in recent years. Doctors now understand that emotional well-being is just as important as physical health. The integration of psychology and medicine has created a more holistic approach to healthcare. In conclusion, modern medicine continues to evolve rapidly, improving life expectancy and quality of care. But it also presents new challenges that require cooperation among scientists, doctors, and policymakers. Thank you for listening.
Now, you have 1 minute to review your answer. Next, you will hear two university lecturers, Professor Green and Dr. Harris, talking with a student about a history research project. First, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 40. Now listen carefully and complete the notes. Write one word only for each answer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we'll be reviewing how modern technology has transformed the study of history.
That's right. Historians used to rely mostly on handwritten documents and archives. But now, advanced tools such as digital databases and 3D scanning have completely changed our approach.
Excuse me, Dr. Harris. What exactly does 3D scanning do in history research?
Good question. It allows us to create digital replicas of ancient artifacts. This means fragile objects can be examined without the risk of damage.
Yes, and these scans also help us preserve details that might otherwise be lost through erosion or aging.
Another major development is the use of satellite imagery. Archaeologists can now identify hidden ruins beneath the surface of the Earth, which used to take years of fieldwork.
That's fascinating. But doesn't technology make historians less reliant on traditional skills?
To some extent, yes, but technology actually complements our understanding. It provides new evidence, not a replacement for analysis or interpretation.
Exactly. For instance, artificial intelligence can process thousands of manuscripts in minutes, finding patterns that would take humans months to detect. But historians still need to evaluate whether the AI's conclusions are reliable.
I see. So it's about using both logic and data.
Correct. We've also begun using virtual reality to recreate historical environments. Students can literally walk through ancient cities to experience what life was like centuries ago.
This immersive method has proven especially useful in education because it encourages curiosity and deeper understanding.
However, all these digital methods raise issues of authenticity. A 3D model or a simulation can never fully replace the feeling of seeing the real artifact.
True. And then there's the question of funding. Not every institution can afford such advanced tools.
So in the end, technology helps historians, but it also creates new challenges, right?
Absolutely. The key is balance, combining modern techniques with critical thinking and respect for the original sources.
Well said. History may be about the past, but our methods must always keep up with the present.
Now, you have 1 minute to review your answer. Thank you for taking this exam. Here is the answer key. Check how much you got right and drop your score in the comment section.